where today our herbivores are in Herbivore Lake. And we have our Spinosaurus eating on a dead young Tyrannosaurus. The young Spinosaurus decides to get a little sip, even though this may be very dangerous. He gets some water and then instantly backs up as quick as he could, then starts to eat again. The Parasaurolophus noticed he thought it would have been an attack, but it wasn't. As the Spinosaurus is meant to be a water hunter, there's barely anything to do in water, especially how filthy it is for a Spinosaurus. As the herbivores thrive through the water, and the Brachiosaurus also thrives, except it gets a little bit too deep for most herbivores. He starts to get long necks. Spinosaurus decides to finish eating. He decides to leave the T-Rex carcass there and find something better to eat, as his carcass was filthy. He finds our Utahraptor Singletooth eating on the dead Acrocanthosaurus. He decides maybe it will be good enough for him to decide to try steal or to kill. And then he'll have 2 meals, one small one and one big one. But our Utahraptor Singletooth isn't stupid, as he picks up the dead carcass that he had and then decides to run off. After Singletooth has finished, he has decided to give the bones of the dinosaur to him, and then instantly walks off. Spinosaurus is very mad, so he only gets the worst parts of the dinosaur. As all of a sudden, the Dilophosaurus thinks of something. Now he's chewing the dead carcass. He thinks that maybe if he kills a Brachiosaurus, he could become really big. So he decides to do it. Even though this is not going to be possible for him to do, he still thinks that will. So he goes. Except he realizes that the 2 long necks are over there. He doesn't know which one is exactly a Brachiosaurus. He decides to throw rocks instead. So he threw a rock. It hits our Dilophosaurus leader. He slowly comes. And he comes out of shore. As now, the Dilophosaurus is very frightened. Our herbivore leader decides to kick a rock with his tail and then goes back in. The rock smacks him and gets his tail stuck a little, but it wasn't really that stuck. He decided to try to put this rock inside the river too. So the Dilophosaurus is still going in. He throws it and knocks the herbivore leader down. Except now, he is very mad, as his head is submerged. He slowly comes out like a zombie. But not like a zombie, but an angry dinosaur. An angry herd leader. As now he's extremely filthy and has to deal with this little Dilophosaurus. The Dilophosaurus throws a rock, but then the rock makes it inside of the herd leader's mouth. As now it's inside his mouth. He is very embarrassed of himself to do this. The little Dilophosaurus laughs. Except our Dilopicus doesn't think it's funny. He does is throws a rock into the lake. And he tails whips the young Dilophosaurus. And then goes back in, but more up front. Because he's very mad. But then the Dilophosaurus decides to annoy more herbivores. The Parasaurolophus comes out because he's too cold. He comes out and instantly realizes that there's a little carnivore. He tries to frighten him. But then Spinosaurus comes. As he is very hungry, he decides maybe an offshore one would be easy for him to kill. As the Parasaurolophus doesn't notice, he gets bit in the neck. He tumbles over. As now, the small Dilophosaurus experiences how dangerous a Spinosaurus is. He decides to leave that carcass for the little Dilophosaurus, as he knows that Dilophosaurus is going to start to annoy him. He decides to go for one of the long necks, but first he decides to take a little swim. He wants to try to look like his herbivore kind. He knocks the herbivore leader down. He tries to annoy every single herbivore by knocking them over. He finds his dead carcass from earlier in the episode. He still leaves it, as he knows it's pointless. Now he just watches the angry herbivores come. One of them is a little bit too dangerous for even a Spinosaurus that small to compete against. A Triceratops. The Triceratops is very mad. The Spinosaurus thinks this may be very good to kill. The Triceratops tail whips instead of headbutts, and then goes back into herbivore lake. As now, the Triceratops is pretty angry. Stegosaurus gets back up. The other herbivores don't want to get up, as they are really mad. Especially the Dilophosaurus, his leader. The leader is extremely mad and thinks that was the young Dilophosaurus that has done this. But he looks at the Dilophosaurus and he sees a dead carcass. Instantly, the Spinosaurus decides to take the dead Parasaurolophus. Even the young Dilophosaurus did not even get a bite out of it from just standing there. Now, he has to deal with an angry attack leader. A very mad one. One that has been very annoying. But then, our little raptor comes, as he's also very hungry. He decides to try to annoy some dinosaurs too, and gets one, and tries to get one killed. He notices the Spinosaurus eating his carcass. He looks. He decides to try to take a little bite out of it to make him get mad. He actually comes back because he actually really liked it. Spinosaurus decides to guard it as he notices instantly. Little Utahraptor watches. But then, the most dangerous predator comes. The Suchomimus. He decides to ignore the little carnivores. He wants to kill the leader. He doesn't notice which one is. He thinks that Brachiosaurus is, which is the leader's love. But soon, that Soon, she will lay eggs. Decide to go in. He scares plenty, but they all stay still. The Dilophosaurus watches as her love may die. As now, she is doomed. He decides to roar. The Suchomimus looks at him and instantly starts running to him. As now, he faces off against one of the bigger predators. The bigger predator instantly tail whips, but he knows that this is too small for him to eat. He decides not to kill, but to harm. He tries to break the Dilophosaurus's tail as hard as he could. He tail whips and decides to walk off. The Dilophosaurus leader has had a very bad day, but soon he will have babies. As now, the young, as now his mate has decided to lay eggs soon. She decides to go lay an egg somewhere, and that will be really good. The Dilophosaurus is a little happy. The Dilophosaurus's mate lays one egg and then decides to bury it. As now the egg has been buried. Now she will have to protect it at all costs for it to hatch. Later, the youngling was born. The Suchomimus comes a little bit too close. As now, the leader decides to defend her and his son. Suchomimus doesn't want any young herbivores to be around. He instantly smacks him down and smacks his mate down, and then smacks his son down and instantly goes away. So now many carnivores will be going after this little child, such as our main protagonist. He pulls them away, but Singletooth does not realize that he's leaving marks. Decide to bring him over here, but then the herd leader notices. He is very angry. To be continued.